Change is the only constant. I would say that's true, wouldn't you? Everything around us is changing, nature changes, it's going through cycles, and therefore we are a part of nature, and we also go through cycles. Our body goes through massive changes, doesn't it, from when we're born, then it hits puberty, totally transforms, and then if you're a woman it even goes to the menopause, so then it changes again. For men obviously it's not quite the same, but they still get older, you know, and might lose their hair. Things are going to change, and you have to adapt to those changes, and the cells in our bodies are constantly regenerating, so we are actually, you know, being reborn all the time, you know, because our cells are constantly dying and being reborn and replenished. So yeah, our bodies that we're in now is not the same bodies that they were 7 years ago, whether we like it or not. So yeah, that's a scientific fact. But also I think mentally we do go through stages, and obviously grow as people. And even if you try not to, even if you're very determined to stay the same, you'll usually find that if you try and do that, everyone around you changes. So it's still very, very difficult. You know, you can't freeze time. You can't keep everything the same, you know. And that's one of the hard things that people can struggle with as they get older. Some people really fight those changes. But we need to let go. We need to learn to adapt and embrace change, because change can be a wonderful thing. And it's just the next chapter in our life, isn't it, you know. And it's not always our choice, maybe. If things come to an end, like certain relationships, it may be the other person. It may be us, or it may be them, you know. But either way, you need to just accept it when it happens. And that way, you'll be a lot more happy, if that's the right word. I found this poem by Morgan Harper Nichols, which maybe explains it better than I can. And it says, people move on and leave their worlds behind, on broken porch benches and rusted stop signs. But whether you're the one who stayed or you're the one who's gone, it's okay if things are changing, because people move on. And that's life. That is what happens a lot of the time. Obviously you may have some friends that you might manage to keep. I've got a friend that I've had since I was 5, since primary school, and that's lovely, you know, when you can get things to continue. But you can't force these things, you know. They might happen, they might not, you know. They become, when that does happen, it's really lovely, and they become more like a sibling or something, you know. But even with family, you know, you can't always stay in contact with maybe all family, because, you know, you might find that you're just not able to do that for whatever reason. You just don't get on, you're clashing, or, you know, you might have a toxic family member that you just feel like you have to let go of for whatever reason, and that can be sad, but it's just one of those things, you know. Sometimes you do have to put yourself first, and if you've tried everything, then yeah, you might have to step away from that person, or at least, you know, have a lesser relationship with them, you know. I would say always keep it civil, at least, you know. If it's within families, keep it civil if you possibly can. But yeah, I've had many best friends over the years, and partners and boyfriends as well. And, you know, you can't always stay in contact with them, I don't think. You know, you do have to accept when you're growing in different directions, and that there is a possibility, you know, you may grow apart, and then at some point you may come back together, you know. Anything's possible, but you can't force these things, and if it's going to happen, it'll happen, you know. You have to have faith that, you know, you hear all stories all the time of people who went out together when they were younger and then they actually get back together when they're older, and I think that's quite sweet, you know, when that does happen. But you know, there's no guarantees with these things, and it might not happen for everybody. I really do believe that it's important to grow as a person and expand as a person. I think that's important, and that's probably partly why we're here, you know, is to learn these lessons, and that people cross our paths, you know, at different times in our lives, and they may be very, very important to us and our whole world for a while, you know, but that doesn't mean that they'll always be a part of our world, and that we'll always be a part of their world. So you have to accept that, you know, and embrace change as well, you know, just embrace it.